Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm looking at a scenario where the Dutch return to fascism. Now, the Dutch lost World War IV and had to become a flawed democracy. They had to get rid of all their fascist governments, their leaders. Everyone who was fascist was rather executed or put in life imprisonment. But we're going to look at a scenario where the Dutch return to fascism. So, in the real Wixo, we saw the Dutch fascist leader get in, he got caught when the capital of the Dutch fell. He was found. He was forced to sign some treaties and executed. But in this timeline, see before Amsterdam falls, we see the leader fleeing from the capital city, and there is a warrant out for him. Pretty much every country in the world that isn't fascist wants him dead. But we see him somehow land in Normandy with some troops, and these troops will be met by the Dutch troops, and the Dutch wanting their former glory back will join the dictator, and eventually we see the Dutch ruler kind of just go into the capital, and he is pronounced the leader of the Dutch once again. So fascist Dutch is back, and this new Dutch Empire wants to reclaim their old glory. In order to reclaim their old glory, they're going to have to expand. And they declare war on this Swiss country now. Switzerland just became its own country again. And of course, they need to deal with all their country stuff. And the Dutch mainly have most of their core land. And just like after World War Three, they had their core after World War Two actually. They had all their core land left. But in this timeline, we see the Dutch go into the Switzerland country and fully wiping them out. The Dutch, although losing most of their country, is still a very strong country. Of course, not a top 10 power anymore, but they're probably still up there as they still have all their important land back. Now the Dutch have a challenge. Where do we expand? They could go after Denmark or Germany, but they're like new countries and would put up a bit of a resistance. So that just leaves Iceland. Iceland got its independence for the first time ever, but the Dutch are going to say no to that, and will land troops and capture the capital of Iceland. And the the AN won't be happy with this. The Dutch aren't a part of the AN, I think, but the AN won't condone them. But after they spend too much time complaining and everything, we see Iceland actually fall to the Dutch before the AN can decide what to do if they want to help Iceland. So shows that the AN maybe isn't as useful as you think it might be. I don't know though, but they once the Iceland people once again forced to be a part of the brown team, like after World War, like forever basically, as the Dutch have really always controlled over Iceland. Anyways, Iceland is knocked off. They no longer exist. Wiped that capital city goodbye. And now the Dutch can start pulling oil out of Iceland. Well, they still want more materials. They want more oil so they can, of course, use it and sell it. And there's only really one place that has oil. Hey, Greenland. I think you know what's gonna happen. Dutch forces will move out from Iceland, landing in Greenland now. Greenland is one of the largest countries in the world, but they're not a very strong country. They're one of the weakest now. That's for a multiple of reasons. They don't have a big population, and their country is freezing cold. So the Dutch will make another landing, capture the capital, and with this, the Greenland people are screwed. I don't think they have any major cities apart from their capital, of course, but there might be some. They have one other major city. Doesn't matter though, it's been captured. And with most of the islands falling, and a landing raid in this island taking a populated city for Greenland, see Greenland accept their fate and surrender. And in this treaty, seeing all the expansion the Dutch are doing, the Purple team will start a new alliance the new Square Alliance. And the countries that join this new alliance are Germany. The Dutch have started to build a lot of troops up on their borders and they want protection. We also see France join this new alliance. Interestingly enough, I need to get rid of the alliance here, but we see Quebec join the Square Alliance. As the Dutch aren't scared of going into Quebec and, taking them over, as more oil and more land and more population. So anyways, Quebec joins this alliance. Now, the Dutch are very mad. They really have nowhere to expand.